In my hands, I hold two of Saucony's most popular running shoes, the Ride and the Guide. Both are made for easy running, both are on their 18th iteration, and they even rhyme. But in most ways, they're complete opposites. So we're going to compare both shoes in this video to help you learn how exactly they might differ, where each shoe shines, and hopefully by the end, you can make a decision about which one's best for you. So let's go. So the reason I'm making this video is because I've had a lot of people ask me what's the difference between the Ride and the Guide. And I'm kind of puzzled by the question because they're really nothing alike. So I'm guessing it's because of the name. So in any case, let's compare them. The Ride is Saucony's most versatile daily trainer, and it's a very basic shoe. And by that I mean it has no carbon plate, no huge slabs of supercritical foam. It's like your dad's easy running shoe, made simple but made effective. Pretty lightweight. Meanwhile, the Guide is the Ride's heftier cousin, and it's made more for support than for speed. So this is a stability shoe, meaning that it's made to protect against pronation, so feet rolling inwards, or supination, which is feet rolling outwards. And because of that, it's got a whole lot more bulk and material to it. So let's compare these shoes, at least on paper. At first glance, it kind of looks like the shoes are almost the same. They have the same stack height, so the heel to toe drop is quite comparable, and even the weights are somewhat alike. And to be honest, all of that shocks me because I took both shoes for my wear tests before knowing anything about their metrics, and the shoes felt completely different. And so this is a little bit misleading, and you'll see what I mean when we get to the wear test in a moment. That said, both shoes do have their key differences in their construction. Mainly there are three. And the main one is the obvious one, that the Guide is a stability shoe, which means it's made pretty differently. It's got this broad-based platform underfoot with higher sidewalls that cradle the foot to prevent against that pronation and supination. Now, most shoes, including the Ride, are made as neutral shoes and don't have those cradles. The second big difference is in the midsole foams. So the Guide has Saucony's proprietary easy running foam that they call Power Run. It's super dense, a little bit heavy. The Ride doesn't have that. It's got an update to that. They call it Power Run Plus. And so it's a little bit lighter, more responsive. Actually, I should say it's a lot lighter and it's quite a bit more responsive. Just from the touch, you can really tell the difference. Even before wear testing both of these shoes, I figured that their midsoles would make them feel super different from each other. A nice little bonus feature in the Guide is that the sole here actually has some of that Power Run Plus foam, so you do get a little bit of that new bounce also in the Guide. Now the third difference is underneath the foot. So the Ride has this XT900 outsole, they call it, which is just a collection of these flex little pods that supposedly help with traction. I still wouldn't call this shoe terrific in winter conditions, but it's got a little bit of grip, especially around the toes and the midfoot. The Guide, meanwhile, has a thicker, maybe more rubbery outsole that does a little bit better in the rain. But same thing here, I wouldn't call this a grippy shoe either, but it's got a little bit more teeth than the Ride. And then beyond those differences, the shoes share a couple key updates and features that help with comfort. So I'm talking about a new updated engineered mesh upper, which is lightweight and also breathable. They also both have new heel collar cushioning that locks the foot in and is just comfortable around the heel. And then I really like the lacing system on both shoes because it's flexible. You really feel like you can make a difference in how tight the upper is. And that's nice because we all have different sized feet, different heights of feet, which sounds weird, but I've come to know is true. Okay, let's take this outside.
The Guides are not for me. I'm not saying it's not a good shoe, but it's not for me. The word that comes to mind is like safe. It's got a really dense foam underneath that will protect your landing, but that doesn't really send you anywhere. I think it's good for someone who's more of a heel striker and who just doesn't want to get hurt, who doesn't mind easy runs, done super easy. But if you're like me and you're more of a midfoot striker, almost even forefoot, this just feels kind of awkward because the Guide kind of pulls me back onto my heel. Again, this is like a straight up easy running shoe. I think that can be good for someone who like really wants to force themselves to run easy on easy days. But for me, it feels weird. So I feel like if I even tried to break out into a workout or a tempo run, I would be working harder than I'm working with other shoes. But this might be a blessing in disguise, because a lot of like even non-aggressive workout shoes have these massive rock forward profiles now and force you onto your toes, maybe even on days where you don't want it to happen. So this is like the guides are like the antidote or the complete opposite to any type of aggressive shoe. I actually like even my slowest of shoes to have more gears than this. So it's not for me, but it's probably for someone who likes to take it a little bit more chill on their easy days. This is more for me. I don't feel pushed back onto my heel. I think the difference is the absence of the Power Run foam. It just doesn't feel like there's a part of the shoe that's super heavy under my foot. This foam feels a little bit better, a little bit bouncier. I'm running on my midfoot and it feels totally comfortable. And then it's also lighter. It's lighter, it's neutral. I feel like if I had to, I could break into a bit of a workout in these shoes. And that's become the marker of a good easy running shoe for me, kind of paradoxically, is can you pick it up a little bit with them? And the reason for that is, I think it's because that means it allows a natural stride. You don't feel like you're forced to run slower than you feel like running. My fear with the rides was that I would have the same issue as I did with the Kinvaras of the past. I used to wear Kinvaras in high school and a little bit in university as well. And I felt that the toe box was narrow and I'd be crunching my feet inside of them. This isn't the case right now with the rides. They actually feel like they're made for my foot. This has been so far my favorite Saucony shoe of 2025. I like them better than the guides. This might be a preferential thing, but I also like them better than the Endorphin trainers. And I thought the trainers would be more for me because they're meant to have an extra gear, but I almost feel like I could run faster in the rides. So yeah, I would keep this in my easy running rotation no matter what. But again, this might be a preferential thing.
Okay, so final verdict. I like the ride more. It's faster, it's more responsive, it's still reasonably cushioned, and hot take here, I think it's Saucony's best training shoe of the year so far. I do realize that to some extent we are comparing apples to oranges, and I don't run in stability shoes usually, I run in neutral shoes. But that said, if you're someone who likes stability shoes or who's curious about them, then I would reach for the guide instead of the ride. If you don't know if you need stability shoes and you've never considered it, but you're wearing neutral shoes and you're getting injured, maybe you should go see a podiatrist or a professional like physiotherapist and they can help you out. But it's kind of hard to just say and guess whether you are meant for neutral shoes or stability shoes. In my experience, it feels like people reach more towards the neutral shoe and that people who wear stability shoes are a little less common. So if we get into comparables, what's the ride like? So it's about as fast a shoe as you can get without any special supercritical foam or carbon plates. It feels like a Brooks Ghost or a Hoka Clifton, just a classic feeling, it's very comfortable. I would give it to I'd say it feels a whole lot like a Brooks Ghost. If you like a Brooks Ghost, you will probably also like the Saucony ride. The guide, meanwhile, I'll say is a gentle stability shoe. So it doesn't have quite as much material as other popular stability shoes to keep your foot in place. So I'm thinking when you compare it to an Asics Gel Kayano, for example, this one might feel a little bit lighter and breezier. That said, I still put it on the slow side of stability shoes because we have some stability shoes out there that are quick. Like stability doesn't mean slow anymore. I'm thinking of the Asics Glide Ride. It's fast, it's lighter and it's quick, it's bouncier. So I would still say that the guide has some work to do if it wants to brand itself as a fast stability shoe. It's a little pokey at the moment. And finally, it's time to give these shoes a rating. So let's start with the ride. Starting with design, we're giving the ride a 7. Basic but classic, good for a 7. Comfort, next up, super comfortable shoe, did not have an issue, better than some Saucony shoes that I've tried on in the past, loved it. 8.1 is the score. Next up is performance. So as mentioned, the Ride is just about as good as an easy running shoe can get. It doesn't go above and beyond, it doesn't introduce anything new, but it's very solid, 7.8. And finally, value. Super reasonably priced, 8.1. So taking the average of the four, we get a final score of 7.8. Next up, let's rate the Guide. Design, pretty basic stability shoe, nice colors, really strong outsole, giving it a 6.8. The comfort level, meanwhile, look, if you're looking for a stability shoe, this does fit pretty well on the foot, so we were generous here, 7.2. As for performance, that one was a little bit tougher. I think the Guide would benefit from having 1 or 2 extra gears. There's like a finite speed that you feel like you can reach with the shoe, so it's getting a 6.8. And finally, value. So big shoes like the Guide are often priced pretty highly, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's just as simple as they need more material, but it's a pricey shoe, and so we're giving it a 6.9. And 6.9 is also its final tally when averaging the four. So as far as we can compare these two shoes, the Ride wins. I think it keeps up with the market more, and it's going to be a win for people looking for a neutral shoe more than I think the Guide is going to be a win for people who are looking for a stability shoe. But again, these have pretty much the same name, but they're kind of apples to oranges. So a part of what you should do before buying one of these shoes is to know thyself and know if you need a stability shoe or not. So that's all for our review. Thanks for watching. If you know somebody who might benefit from these videos or who might find them entertaining or useful, please share our channel or the video with them. Greatly appreciated. And thanks for watching. Happy running.